Hello, it's your girl Talandria. I'm doing a report on mental illness. My report states, is mental illness causing devastation to the world? People may think of it like, I never thought of it that way. Well, we can take a look into deep conversation about it. Mental illness is an illness of the brain which causes the chemicals to not react in a certain way. Normally, it can be caused by a couple different ways. Genetically, it can be passed down from your parents, grandparents, your aunt or uncle could have it. It can also be your environment, where you're living. Is your neighborhood where you're living stressed for you? Is it poor for you? Is there a lot of violence there that you're seeing, that you're upset about? Also, it could be just work. It could be trauma. Something could have happened to a person. It could have been abused mentally, physically, or it could be death in the family. So it can be caused a number of different ways. But to get to the question, is it causing devastation to the world? Well, let's take a general pick of it. We have inmates that are locked up in prison. A lot of those inmates have mental issues. When they're arrested, a lot of the law enforcement don't know that they have mental issues. A lot of people aren't being treated, so they commit crimes. They are violent, start fights, rob, cause murder, so they end up in prison. And a lot of these inmates aren't getting the proper care that they need. A lot of them are isolated, they're abused mentally, physically. And when they're in prison, someone has to take care of them. That someone or somebody are the taxpayers. If a person is working, there's tax money that's been taken out of their paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, every month, depending on how you get paid. Well, a portion of that money goes to those inmates. They have to be taken care of. They have to have clothes while they're there. They have to have food and water, shelter. And also, they get therapy sometimes, and depending on what prison they are in. They get medication depending on where they're located. Not saying all medication is good for them, because they have to be properly diagnosed. That takes money, that takes time and patience. So someone has to pay for that. Some jails aren't getting the proceeds that they need properly, or some could be using it in ways they shouldn't be using it. We never know. Also, it could be, patients that have mental health aren't using the medications properly. It can destroy their home, their marriage, their relationship with their family members. They can isolate themselves from other people because they don't want to be seen. They can not communicate with their spouse, their children. They can deprive them from love and attention that they need. They can be violent in the homes. It could be the reason why you see a lot of abused family members, which means spouses or just partners in general. It could be children. These people need help too. But sometimes we don't know what's wrong with them. It could be your spouse that's mentally abusing you. You don't know why they're doing it, but they have a mental condition that they haven't been diagnosed with. So sometimes when you go deeper into thought and pinpoint what exactly is happening, when it's happening, why it's happening, therapy can also help with that as well too. Along with medication, I think they can do a lot better. So it takes time for that and patience, and some people just don't have that. So that's why a lot of homes get broken up, because people don't want to deal with it. They will move along and say let them handle it by themselves. But a lot of times people can't handle it by themselves. So that's another devastation in the world, that homes are being broken up. Families aren't together anymore. Also on the job, you be overly stressed. You don't want to work as a team. You think everybody's trying to get you. They're trying to step above you and get your job. So there's different ways you can break it down, but we all need to get this together and understand this properly.